Hi there, my name is Matthew Gorley. I am the founder and the owner of Memorial SEO, a specialized digital marketing service designed specifically for the funeral services industry. Today we're going to be covering the basics and the fundamentals that go into digital marketing and showing you guys a lot of really cool concepts, tips and tricks to actually grow your funeral services business there. I've loved the funeral services industry for a number of years. My family has worked within the funeral services industry, specifically for Kashrut and Jewish mourning periods. And I wanted to really take all of our services, our efforts, our industry, and bring that to the funeral services market to take your business to the next level. So let's get started and talk about marketing in a nutshell. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was the marketing hourglass. Now, I can't take credit for this. This was done by a man named John Jantsch. John Jantsch ended up coming out with a marketing hourglass from his company, Duct Tape Marketing. Again, another marketing firm. I do believe they're based in Utah. But what he noticed was that everybody that ever went through buying a product or a service ended up going through the exact same step-by-step buying process as everybody else. You had to go through know, like, trust, try, buy, repeat, refer. As in, they had to know who you were, they had to like who you were, they had to trust what you were offering, and then they had to try what you were offering before they bought what you were offering and became repeat and referring customers of your business. And as soon as they referred, psychologically, the people they referred went through the same process of know, like, trust, try, buy, repeat, and refer. So what we end up seeing specifically is we end up seeing a lot of people going through this marketing hourglass and having incomplete marketing hourglasses when it comes to actually demonstrating the value and growing their business. A lot of people are trying to get into the buy now portion of the funnel when it comes to the funeral industry, without actually building any kind of effective loss leaders or any sort of educationally intensive products or services that are designed to grow those businesses specifically. On top of everything else, what they cannot do, what they cannot seem to function on, is the fact that they've taken them through advertising, they've taken them through the know, like, trust, and they've built a website out for them that's designed specifically to attract and engage conversions. Now, some really good examples of this really are going to be the famous loss leaders that we end up seeing at McDonald's, for example. So they do $1 drink days or 99-cent cheeseburgers just to draw you in the line. They know that on average, a cheeseburger, for example, is actually going to cost them $1.15. So they're going to lose 15 cents every time they end up making a cheeseburger, knowing that roughly 63% of everybody that comes through that lineup for the cheeseburger are going to buy fries and a drink, which ultimately ends up only costing them anywhere between 3 and 9 cents, depending on the size of the drink itself. But ultimately, they upsell people into another dollar, right? So this is where they end up recovering not just what they lost, but the money they ended up making off of that. Amazon selling soundbars for $99 when they were originally $299, specifically around the Christmas and Black Friday season. What they want to do is they want to draw attention to Amazon, knowing that you're going to do all of your Christmas shopping there. Your average cart value is going to be anywhere between $600 and $750. And they use these loss leaders to actually generate the traffic to the website to actually make this money and turn a profit off of it. Now, in Medicine Hat, I come from a small city of about 60,000 people, 80,000 if you want to include the surrounding area. And I know a thing or two about digital marketing, because in a city of 60,000 people, I successfully managed to create what we call a legacy digital marketing agency, and helping small businesses all over the digital marketing landscape in Medicine Hat actually grow their business, and then helping hundreds of other agencies in Alberta actually grow. I do know funeral services when it comes to growing your businesses and the methodologies in order to get your businesses to absolutely explode. But we have the Silver Buckle in Medicine Hat. Beautiful little pub. They sell $5 steak sandwiches, knowing full well that they're going to lose a little bit of money on the $5 steak sandwiches. They're going to make money off of their sides, which are about $2 a piece, and then they're going to end up making money off of their drinks as well, which they end up making tremendous margin off of their alcohol. Now, the thing is that we have to come up with a secret formula for your funeral services, your cremation services, your burial services, maybe even your pet cemetery services. Basically, we got to figure out who your customers are, and then we got to figure out where they are so that we can create an effective bait so that we can get the results that we want. What this means is that we need to know who your customer is, where they are in regards to their pool. Is that Google? Is that Facebook? Is that Instagram? Is that LinkedIn? For most of you, it's actually Google. We want to create effective enough bait to actually generate them out of that pond and then take them where we want to go, which is ascending them up the value ladder to get the result that we are after, which is to sell them larger services, especially for your pre-need leads. Now, when we end up looking at your pre-need leads, not just drawing attention to your site is not enough. We have to give something so that we can actually convert them. This is where the bake comes in, and then we give them the front end offer, the middle end offer, the back end offer, so that ultimately it turns, a cremation potentially turns into a burial turns into a larger casket, or potentially even a more elegant urn. And then we end up seeing services and flower packages and meal packages and hearse packages on top of everything else. Ultimately, our goal is to upsell them and grow the margin within the business while simultaneously helping our customers in a sentimental enough way that we can show that we care for their business and we care for the people that we're serving. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're in the business of, taking care of people and celebrating life. Now, we may end up looking at this, we have to examine the key performance indicators for business growth. So the key performance indicators that often occur when we end up looking at a website, for example, is you got leads multiplied by conversions equals your customers, multiplied by your average dollar sale equals the lifetime value of your customers, multiplied by your revenue, multiplied by your margin equals the profit. Now, if we look at a funeral home, for example, if you get an additional 10 leads in a month and you convert just 30 of those leads into 3 customers at a $3,500 average dollar sale, and you have a lifetime value of your customer, and obviously the client that you may be serving is only going to have a lifetime value of 1, but we do know that families want to be buried side by side. Oftentimes, many of you run multi-generational funeral services, many of you run multi-generational funeral homes, so we end up seeing their family plots and multifamily creation, multifamily plots. We end up seeing that 2.5 multiplier, which means that we're getting $8,750 multiplied by 0.6 lifetime value of the customer in the marketing channel, and multiplier by a 60% margin. You're making $5,250 in profit off of 10 leads that are generated into your business every single month. So in effect, even on a small example, and this is just a micro example when we're talking about 10 leads generated in your business, because we've worked with businesses that have generated upwards of 300 and 400 phone calls. This is just a small example in regards to how to grow your profit and margins using intelligent key performance indicators. Which brings me to my next point. A lot of you have websites that are founded in 1882 or a family-owned funeral home. In the case of, a larger funeral service that exists inside of the United States, many of you know who I'm talking about. They have family-owned funeral home all over their website, and the reality is that they aren't really family-owned, but neither here nor there. What we end up seeing is that we have a website, right? And what we need to do is we need to turn your website into something your clients care about. They want to know that you're going to be able to offer them exactly what they're looking for in the back end, but giving them incentive and a service to actually take care of their families, and more importantly, ease the financial burden that a funeral service may actually leave them. So a website is actually designed to take your customer from point A to point B. The goal is through funnels, lead forms, email captures, and phone calls to your business to get people to interact with your company. Ultimately, what we want to do is we want to then maintain that vehicle, and we have to think about this as a car, right? Your website is your car. We have to maintain that vehicle. Those warm prospects that may opt in for ebooks or opt in for digital marketing guides or opt in for your blog posts, for example. And we want to warm them up with effective email marketing transitions. Now, how do we fuel that vehicle? Well, we're going to use things like Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Instagram, Facebook Organic Management, LinkedIn Organic Management, artificial intelligence, pay-per-click ads. All of these things supply traffic to your website so that they can then convert people and turn them into potential customers. And this is the concept behind the marketing vehicle. Now, how we influence digital marketing. Sorry, you guys. Now, how we influence Tim Hortons. If you're ever in Canada, seriously, absolutely phenomenal coffee. If you're ever wanting to influence your digital marketing effectively, again, we have to go to that top of funnel concept where we're looking at social media, authoring, outreach, design, engagement. We have to look at content marketing. We have to look at your on-site, on-page optimization. What are you doing for local directories inside of your Google My Business? We'll cover that in a few minutes. Are you doing any kind of pay-per-click advertising or Facebook advertising so that ultimately you can draw traffic from all of these sources and convert them into leads, which means that you have to have a landing page with clear call to actions, conversion rate optimized, mobile optimized, with a clean website redesign for a professional design and clear call to action, engaging photos and copy, and making sure that the website itself is mobile optimized. Roughly 83% of the memorial and funeral services marketplace are currently on mobile devices. You super have to focus on this portion of your business. If your website's not mobile optimized, that needs to be primary A1 right now, got to get it done priority when it comes to growing your funeral services business. And then you have to go into reputation and reviews. So you got to solicit positive reviews from your customers, a high ratio of positive reviews, and then do effective email marketing through content design, list growth strategy, and distribution. Now, we're going to take a look at a deep dive into web development and web design because that's really important for digital marketing and growing your business online. What we want to do is we want to start with your website, right? So the first thing we want to look at is we want to make sure, obviously, the page is created for each one of your services. Create cremation, funeral homes, embalming, caskets, funeral arrangements, plus whatever city you're in. So whether it's funeral arrangements, Calgary, Alberta, funeral arrangements, Houston, Texas, funeral arrangements, those pages have to be optimized specifically for that. And then independent pages have to be developed for each of the cities and the areas that you serve, including the 10 pages included inside of your package. Now, proper on-page optimization, your title tags, H1 tags, unique content, everything along those lines, your website has to be optimized specifically for your business. And we have to have strong conversion elements on your page in order to effectively generate leads. This is the starting point, the foundation of your website, right? Now, most funeral service websites actually include anywhere between 3 to 5 pages. So they have funeral home services, about us, contact us, obituaries, etc. But they're missing the critical keyword elements needed for search engine performance, and they're not truly focused on architecture or developed to focus on the things that matter most. What they do is they tend to pay attention to the things that don't generate leads. So when you were founded, what you were founded by, those things, right? Obviously, these aren't important. If people are visiting your website, they're looking for a service, they're doing their research, they don't really care when you were founded at this point. And I want you to think about your own psychology in this particular instance. Look at when was the last time you went to a website specifically for the purposes of looking at the About Us page? This very rarely happens. Roughly 98% of the market wants to know how you're going to, basically what you're going to do for them, how fast you're going to be able to serve them, how much you're going to be able to serve them for, and what you're going to do in order to ensure that their needs are met, obviously, in their time of transition, or if they're taking care of a family member inside of their time of transition. So we have to look a little further into some keywords specifically for funeral services themselves. So we have to look at your name plus cremation, your city plus the funeral homes that are there, your city plus embalming, right? All of these keywords are vital to the success of your website because we want to create a site or a pattern of sites that's designed specifically around the most commonly searched volume words inside of the funeral services market. So that may include cremation, funeral homes, embalming, caskets, funeral arrangements, memorial services, funeral homes, hearses, coffins, funeral flowers, funeral flower arrangements, funeral costs, memorial, cremation urns, urns for ashes, and adding your city to the actual page itself. What Google is going to do is it's going to go in and it's going to actually index these keywords to ensure that you're meeting the demands of that area. So it might be cremation in Houston, for example. People look this up all the time. I know that this generates roughly, for most larger cities with 1 million more people, roughly about 27,000 to 37,000 searches per month. It would be excellent if we could convert even 3%, even if you could convert 1% of 27,000, that's an additional 2,700 phone calls directly into your business, specifically for the purposes of these services, so that we can start growing your funeral home the right way. So the first thing we need to do is we need to add more pages to your site. So the typical funeral services website is about home services, about us, coupons, contact. What needs to be done is we need to look at home services, about us, contact us, and service areas. So your services can be funeral services, cremation services, burial, grief counseling, green burial, tree programs, etc. inside of the pages itself, but we also need sub-pages for funeral services Houston. Now, if you're in a smaller city like myself in Medicine Hat, you might have smaller surrounding towns that end up actually looking these up. So it might be cremation Medicine Hat, it might be cremation Dunmore, that's 10 minutes outside of the city, it's a smaller town. It might be cremation Tabor, Brooks, smaller services in smaller cities that are reaching out to the towns around them to let people know that they're going to be served. But if you're in a larger city, there are larger suburbs, for example, that you're going to serve, right? So it might not just be Houston, for example. It might be, areas inside of Houston. It might be little city areas inside of Houston, so that we can maximize the return on investment when it comes to the search engine optimization of your site and ensuring that we're hitting each and every one of those little neighborhoods to effectively grow your market and effectively grow your business. Now, a website that's built for conversions has a few pointers in it, and this is important that we have to, something important that we have to focus on. We have to ensure that your phone number is immediately and readily available for contact, that your web forms where customers can request and receive quotes for your services. It has to have links to your social media profiles that are readily seen. What this does is it creates a psychological effect that allows us to, in a sense, lend credibility to the site itself. It has to have a company name, address, phone number at the top of every single page so that it's quickly found. People can scroll up and find it without any troubles. Personality, real photos, real videos of your company and your people, the interior of your business. Now, if you wanted to talk to us about 360-degree videos, we can talk to you about some solutions that go into that. There needs to be a clear explanation as to why they should be choosing your company in the first place. There needs to be special offers, opt-in incentives to drive those lead opt-ins. And then your site has to be mobile first indexing and mobile friendly. Again, the majority of website traffic, I don't care what industry you're in, what niche you're in, has to be mobile first indexed and mobile ready. Now, if we take a closer look at search engine optimization and winning with search engine optimization, for example, the first thing we have to do is we have to evaluate your on-page search engine optimization, right? So oftentimes what we'll do is we'll give you a rating. We've got a bunch of audit tools that allow us to go into your website and examine your business extremely closely and obviously offer the on-page optimization for your website to see exactly what's going on those pages, so that when we end up looking up who's ranking for what, we look at funeral homes, maybe you're ranking 15th, funeral service, you're ranking 17th, cremation 7th, memorial services, you're not even in the top 30, and then we end up examining exactly, for example, the search volume that goes into that, the competition level that goes into that. Now, the number one ranking site, obviously, sometimes it's not always funeral services, but in most cases, it's going to be Dignity Memorial that's going to end up ranking, because they do focus heavily on their search engine optimization. And many of you are actually competing with a lot of their services. So we want to make sure that your website is actually ranking for that and examining exactly where the low-hanging fruit is inside of the market, so that we can start growing your website correctly. And then what we want to do is we want to take those pages and we want to basically give it a name, ensure that the URL is essentially on-page optimized friendly, give it a page title that's designed specifically for the keyword that we're going for. Give it a meta description that includes all the keywords. The meta keywords, the keyword pool, and the keyword evaluation is designed specifically for funeral services or cremation services, Houston or LA or New York, whatever the case may be, Seattle, right, to end up growing your business effectively. Now, the perfectly optimized page has a title and meta description that are designed specifically around exactly what you're trying to optimize for. So in this case, if I was to do a chocolate donut page, I would want to put chocolate donuts from Mary's Bakery. Learn the 3 seconds to award-winning chocolate donuts. Again, meta description hits the keyword, hit times and locations for availability, and let me learn how to make your own donuts at home. What this page has is it's obviously uniquely available. It has phenomenal UX writing, which is the micro writing. It's bot accessible, right? Google, Bing, Yahoo, all of these search engines operate off of bots. So your bot has to be able to access that page. It's built to be shared. It's keyword targeted. It's multiple device ready. And your metadata is inclusive on the page itself. All of these things are super important to the vital success of growing your funeral services business. And then what we do when we end up writing those articles, for example, is we get to look at the website popularity model. So Google is basically a popularity contest. It's like the king and queen of prom, right? So whoever gets the most votes and whoever gets the most high quality votes is effectively the winner when it comes to Google. Now, you can do a lot of things when it comes to getting what we call backlinks. What we want to do is we can look into Facebook, Twitter, and more, get you blogs, do press releases, social bookmarking, infographics, local directory listings, online reviews. All of these things contribute to your website's popularity, and the person with the most popularity, the highest popularity contest, is always going to be the winner in this circumstance. So what happens is that we might go, for example, to the guest post. If we carry this over here, we might write an article for your funeral home, and then we'll go to a blogger within our network, within the funeral services network, and we'll say, hey, blogger, out of a scale of 0 to 100, you have a score of 84. will you feature this article on your website, and will you link back to us? And oftentimes they'll look at us and say, hey, yeah, absolutely. We've got a great wholesale relationship with you guys. You've been helping us out for years. This is where the discounts and having an agency like ours comes into play in a big way, because what ultimately happens is that we're able to get you more cost-effective services when it comes to getting backlinks through our pre-existing relationship network. And then we go to a blogger that has a domain authority of 45 or domain authority of 19, a domain authority of 67, a domain authority of 33 or 91. What ultimately ends up happening is we end up raising the domain authority inside of your business to an average of 57, and the person with the highest number of backlinks and the highest quality backlinks, those votes like the king and queen of prom, ends up winning the backlink model for that business. So what we need to do is we need to go out and we need to reach out to guest bloggers in order to actually generate those backlinks for those businesses and effectively stimulate a ranking growth inside of your business yourself. Now, when we're looking at website popularity models, like I said, the website with the most and highest quality backlinks wins. This is the biggest focus, as you can see, so much so I put it into 2 slides. But that is how you grow that organic ranking extremely quickly. Now, how do you dominate the Google My Business Map Pack? So the first thing you need to be focusing on, obviously, is getting into the top 3. This is called the 3-pack or the 3-stack. And effectively, this is one of the areas that generates a tremendous amount of traffic when it comes to growing your business online. So we're looking at Houston, Texas, for example. G.H. Lewis and Sons Funeral Directors, they have 49 Google reviews at a 4.9 rating. Obviously, they've got the most reviews. They're the highest rated funeral home inside of the city, and ensuring that obviously we're growing that way is definitely one aspect of that. Now, it is not one of the most important aspects to that. There are many things that we can actually do when it comes to growing your business. And the second thing is ensuring that you're actually ready for Google Personal Search, Siri, Alexa, and personal search devices, and GPS. So we got to actually appeal to a lot of these other platforms in order to grow your business online through the modern technology that goes into search engine optimization as well. And then what we want to do is we want to go and obviously reach out through your Google My Business. And what we want to do is we want to edit your Google My Business page to have calls, driving directions, website links, informational content, answers, search queries right within the Google platform. Google's greatly expanded the options that actually exist within each of these profiles in regards to posts and information, products, services, prices. They can even build you like a little tiny, they're terrible websites in all honesty, if I'm being candid with you, but a little tiny website that helps you grow your business online. And then what we do is we obviously go through, we solve this by winning the local search game by creating local reach, building your network from multiple directions, right? So what we want to do is, in order to build your network from multiple directions, is we want to make sure that your Google My Business listing is keyword rich. You have complete categories, the geotagged images, news posts, product posts, coupons, offers. Your custom My Maps is embedded on your business site, posted alternative properties, multiple data points that exist on your site. We want to make sure we have multiple maps. And again, going back to that multiple cities idea that exists on your page, this is going to be vital to the success of generating traffic and generating leads to your site. Now, when it comes to the business website itself, we want to make sure that you have the proper schema markup. This is the markup that Google works with when it comes to your web development services. We want to geotag all of your images to ensure that they are pointing directly to the location that you're serving. We have an embedded map. We want to do geo content, again, content that is designed to be specific to your location. Give you location page, keyword implementation, and technical search engine optimization. These are all very vital to success of your business website. Now, finally, we want to look at the citation networks, right? Adding citations to your site, to your network, monitoring of customer submissions, the accuracy of your data and new citations, removing duplicate listings. What a citation is it's effectively us going out to the general populace, because it's more than just Google. There's 411, there's Yellow Pages, there's Can Pages, there's Brown Book, there's funeral directories, there's hundreds of these things, and I mean hundreds of funeral directories and thousands of additional directories that will actually supply information and consistent information specifically for the Google Maps side of your business to grow your business the right way through Google Maps. And it's important that we end up going out and building these correctly as well, making sure that this information is correct, making sure that these profiles are extremely complete in all of their services, and making sure that your business is growing in the right way. Now, when we end up looking at this, for example, we want to make sure that we're doing the right things in local reach too, right? So Tucson, we were working with a pain management company inside of my legacy agency, And on average, they get about 11 monthly services if we optimize their page for Tucson pain management. But if we go pain management Tucson, that's an additional 210 monthly searches, which is why keyword research and choosing smart keywords is so important, so vital to the success of the growth of your business. So if you look at commercial construction in Arizona, you only get 10, commercial construction in Arizona 10, but construction Arizona 46, right? Obviously, we want to make sure that we're going after the keyword that produces the most volume as well as has the least difficulty. Now, I've seen this in funeral homes and funeral directors and cremation services where it's like a cremation Houston or cremation in Houston. So cremation Houston will produce on average about 2,700 to 2,800 search results, whereas cremation in Houston will produce more than 10,000 results, right? And the thing is that cremation in Houston is much more difficult because people have gone after this keyword. They've done a lot of really good things with it. But again, it shows you the example that maybe the opportunity could be existing instead of cremation Houston, where the competition is extremely low, but it's still generating you a lot of traffic, while we simultaneously go after the harder keyword so that you can get more services. You can take advantage of this offering. You can grow this business this way while we simultaneously go after the harder and more competitive keywords. That way you're winning on all fronts. Now, we're going to optimize your website's primary directories one at a time, basically one-time on-site SEO project. We can do this for your existing website. It's not suggested, but if you're just looking for a one-time SEO service, we can definitely help you out with that. But again, this is not going to help you dominate your market page. We want to make sure that obviously we're building directories and doing something for you that's going to be growing your business. So what we end up doing is we end up coming up with a smart local keyword plan. Again, going back to the chocolate donut example, we want to make sure for you we are going for cremation in Houston or cremation services Houston. This is all included in a market research package to help you grow your business the right way. And one of the ways that we go about doing that is by building citations through your network. Again, it goes back to Yellow Pages, White Pages, the USA Explorer, YouTube, Mercury News, City Data, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat. All of these places are data aggregators that will actually grow your Google Maps rankings and really create that complete local search opportunity for your funeral services business. Now, again, we're going to use another example. I like using broad examples so that you guys can see that we've done this for many different industries, but specifically this is a product and service that we've designed comprehensively for the funeral services market. But again, when we end up looking at this, right, we can build this, but we have to do this through effective competitor research, right? So, maybe there's, in the case of this remodeling segment here, we end up looking at this and we look at the citation profiles of these construction companies. Well, the citation profiles of these construction companies, maybe, one has 9, one has 49, one has 4, one has 57, one has 83, for example. And at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we're on top. We're beating out this 83 person. So we have to look at the number of citations that we're going to actually use to effectively create the strong directory citation profile and building quality citation directories for your funeral services business as well, and ensuring that we're growing it inside the right way. Obviously, making sure that the accuracy across these directories and these data aggregators is important. So we have to make sure that we're doing ongoing corrections because they do change from time to time. We deduplicate your listings, so sometimes creating duplicate listings is a big problem. And then we're monitoring all of the results that you're going to end up getting out of that. So for example, we've got complete listings when it comes to, we'll use pest management. This is a really good example. I really like Horn Pest Management out of Arizona. So we look into it and all of a sudden they have complete listings, right? Or maybe they have 56% incomplete listings or inconsistent listings and duplicates. We have to go out there and move the needle to complete listings so that we can end up increasing the Moz Local score. So that what we can do is we can effectively grow your business the right way through the Google My Business package. Now, how all of this is tied together, beautifully, is through the Reputation Management Winning Pack. And what we do through reputation management and heat map software, it allows your team to actually check in and ensures your customers are being served at the highest level possible. Posting that information directly to your website. So that you remember, if we talked about the little suburbs and little areas on your pages in previous videos there, what we need to do is we need to build out your cities on those pages in a way that it's going to respond to that software so that we can develop that heat map. So that we can indicate to Google that, hey, these people are being served in this area through this product, through this service, and Google knows exactly which suburbs you guys are working in. It does really assist in growing that business, especially if you're asking for a review after the fact, right? After the service, after the cremation, maybe it's part of your aftercare program to just ask politely for a review to your business. The software handles all of that for you, and it does it in a sensible enough manner that obviously we're not disrupting the grieving process for your clients. So what we can do is we can do this in a way that when a customer checks into your business, they can do it where it's like, hey, can you just leave us a review? It would be greatly appreciated if you could talk about this on your business there. We do the lead SMS, we build your business, we enhance your site by boosting it on social media. We go and secure reviews, and some of the services are actually requesting reviews specifically for those purposes as well. Explaining those one by one, we want to make sure that your team checks in every time they serve a customer, right? So check-ins describe what they did, why it was great, and include a photo or video. Check-ins can get dropped where the customer came from or where your prospects are. So if they're coming to your funeral home in a lot of different ways, we're going to use this software in order to help your clients check in, or better yet, have one of your team members help your clients check in as part of the sales process and marketing process that goes within your funeral directorship or your cremation home burial plot service, whatever the case may be. Lead SMS, basically all of your website visitors can start a live conversation with your team via SMS without delay, right? So what this means is that we can use it to actually create a conversation bubble on your website. And then we can build your business itself so you'll rank better for all the things you do best. Rank locally on all the places you serve, earn more fans with richer social media to drive more traffic, better qualified leads, and get more jobs. We want to enhance your site, your city pages on your own website, shown every time, every check-in, every photo, every video, that deliver you better rankings and a reputation at the local level in every single city or suburb that you serve, meaning that the leads are actually going to come straight to you, right? So a lot of this software integrates directly with your website, and it allows you to also share the reviews, photos, videos, and check-ins, a range of social professional media sites, including your Google My Business, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so much more. And it's very, very important that obviously you're enhancing your site, not just with your reviews, but you're enhancing your social media because it feeds back to your site as well, which is why it's important to have your social media linked up to your site too. All of this creates an ecosystem for search engines to recognize that you're actually doing the right things. More importantly, it lowers your cost per click volume when it comes to your on-page service and your off-page services. So your customers provide their review at their convenience on their own device during the magic moments when they're most likely to respond and most likely to think 5-star thoughts. Now, obviously, during the aftercare service, after the grieving process, this is going to be a good time to do this as part of the aftercare process, right? You can steer your customers to actually provide reviews through Google My Business, Facebook. There are more than 20 other sites with our 40% average review response rate. So what that means is that out of every 100 we send out, 40 of them are actually going to leave reviews for you. And then you can actually request a review too. Maybe it's in the pre-need lead process. Maybe you're taking care of a future client that knows that they are going to be deceased and they're pre-purchasing the products and services for their families so that they don't have to go through that process. Pre-need leads, increasing pre-need leads. This is an incredible opportunity to do exactly this. So when your team checks in, they request a review from your customers by via email or SMS. You can even ask the customers to call your dedicated audio testimonial telephone number. There are more ways to request a review through this software than anything else, but you need to secure these reviews in some way. There are lots and lots of reputation management software opportunities out there if you want to do this yourself. Obviously, this is going to be included in something should we end up serving you and your business here in the future. But I would definitely suggest taking the time to take advantage of some reputation management software and either serving your pre-need leads, but specifically your pre-need leads when it comes to review and reputation management. This is where the opportunity is going to come from, or people in the post-care process that are just finishing up the grieving process and they are in the mood and they have those 5-star thoughts and they're ready to serve your business that way. Finally, using all of that research and those tools, basically we want to dominate your market with pay-per-click advertising. And this is a very comprehensive process. It's very intensive. And obviously, for the purposes of this video, we could definitely take the time to explain all of that. But pay-per-click advertising effectively is how we drive traffic to your site. So now that we've built your website, we've ensured Google Local is optimized, we've ensured absolutely everything is taken care of. This is now where we get into the stages of actually driving the fuel to your vehicle, because it's now a high-converting, high-powered machine that obviously has an incredible amount of social credibility to your site, to your business, and it's really doing the trick and working for you. Now, the average cost of hiring a certified OMCP, online certified digital marketer in-house, that's hiring them in-house for your business, is anywhere between $20 an hour and $65 an hour, depending on what you do. Now, in Canada, we have CPP, IWCB. These are employment insurances. These are about $500 a month. And then you're looking at about $1,400 in cost of software. Your cost of ads is about $1,500 a month. So you could, if you're hiring somebody in-house to do everything we talked about, $6,860 to $15,000, depending on their experience. Obviously, we want to make sure we're serving you. So what I'm going to encourage you guys to do, if you haven't done so already, is go ahead, get my customer growth acceleration strategy, my lead flow strategy right below. That's that button, so that we can show you exactly what we have to offer, because you'll notice that we do a lot of things that your customers or other general marketing agencies do not offer, because we are specialized for your guys' services. We are specialized for your guys' niche. We do your website design, your unlimited change orders, 100% satisfaction guarantee. You have a payment plan process. We're certified Google partners. We have first page of Google guarantee, or we work for free until you're there. We have a full suite search engine optimization service. We have marketing automation services, call tracking services, artificial intelligence, in-house development team, absolutely zero resources, zero outsourcing. When it comes to this, you're going to be speaking to somebody on our team all the time. When it comes to article writing, your advertisements, those kinds of things, you can speak to people directly, your account manager directly. We include all of your analytics and reporting. We give you a free market analysis on request, ability to calculate an ROI on all your campaigns. We give you a competitive analysis, and there are no hidden contracts or stipulations. We're completely transparent about everything up front. Our competition, especially general marketing agencies, don't do a lot of these things. But what I want you to do, if you want us to give you a hand, is I want you to click the button below, go to Get My Customer Acceleration Strategy. What we're going to do is we're going to put together a comprehensive digital marketing market research package so that we can show you where the opportunities are. We can analyze what you're doing right in the marketplace and where your opportunities of improvement are, and we can show you exactly how you're going to generate traffic online through more than what we just showed you. It is an incredible swipe file. It is an incredible resource of information to grow your business online the right way, so that we can start driving more pre-need leads in your business, start driving more clients into your business, and take advantage of the marketplace and show you exactly how to dominate the online marketplace specifically for your funeral services, your funeral home. I look forward to helping you. Again, click the button below. We're going to get started right away, and we'll see you on the other side. I'm looking forward to helping you grow your business.